Well, that's enough drama for one video, I think. And that was a little bit dramatic, but it was fun to make and hopefully you enjoyed it. Now, on to the topic at hand. I'm not disputing what a G chord is. A G chord is a combination of a G, a B and a D, played in any order. Doesn't matter what note's the lowest, what note's the highest, what note's in the middle. If you hear those three notes at the same time, you're hearing a G, as opposed to a B minor, add flat 6, no fifth, or a D sus4, add 6, no fifth. You're just going to hear a G. What we're really talking about is the shape of the G chord, how to play a G chord. What way is the best? What way should you be playing it? And in particular, the open shapes. There are three that I'd like to look at in particular, and they are as follows. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. They all sound very, very similar. It's because they are very, very similar. And I'd like to look at them from a balanced perspective, so I'm not just going to sit here and tell you which one I think is the best, or which one I think you should be playing, or I'm not going to down talk any other person for saying what they think is the best. What they think is the best is what they think is the best, and that's fine, in their opinion. And ultimately it is an opinion. If you play those three notes, like I said, you're not wrong. Okay. So, number 1. Right. There are 5 main open shapes on the guitar: C, A, G, E, and D. If you play a G chord like this, the harmony between those 5 chords is good. Explain what I mean by that. When you play an A chord, you use the second finger and third finger, like so. When you play an E chord, you also use the second and third finger in the same way. They're doing the same thing. In the D and the C and the G, if you play the G chord like this, notice my second finger and third finger. In a D chord they're there, in a C chord they're there, and in the G chord they're there. So that's the harmony. It's going from a C chord to a G chord when you're playing a G chord like this is really easy. Notice also that when I have my second finger here from the G chord, I can play an E minor, and a G major and an E minor often occur together in songs. So the harmony between it exists. Now on to more important things. Because harmony is fantastic and all, and it's nice having the fingers all kind of doing the same kind of thing and working together as a little team, because that's important, because you only have 4 of them. So, why is this G chord a good G chord? Well, from this G chord, without having to adjust my fingers too much, I can play a G7, I can play a G major 7, I can play a G sus4, all of which are very useful chords. But you're probably sitting there thinking, yeah, but my little finger, how's it going to get all the way down there? Well, let me ask you a question. If you look at my 4 fingers across the strings, which finger do you think is nearest to that string? My little finger. Why would I want to slave any other finger to go all the way down to the bottom of the guitar when my little finger is like practically halfway there? It's a little bit awkward, I won't lie, but once you get your fingers around it, it's great. It's really rewarding. So, that's G chord number 1. And bringing to the stage the next G chord. This is a great way of playing a G chord. It sounds really nice. It's got a much brighter tone to it because what we're doing is we're changing this note when we have in this chord to this note. So you make it brighter, make it a little bit higher, and it rings out really nicely, I won't lie. It also has a level of functionality to it as well. So from this chord, you can extend the little finger up to give you quite a nice add 9 or add 2, depending on how pedantic you want to be. And you can also go to this kind of C chord. It isn't a C major, it's a C add 9 or add 2, depending on how pedantic you want to be. Deja vu. So to change to a C chord and the other chords, it's a little harder. The D chord, it's okay because the D chord you've got the third finger anchored down on the second string, the B string. So you can change like that, and that's fine as well. This is a favourite for a lot of guitar players out there. They prefer this G chord to this G chord. I have mixed feelings. I like them both. And I would recommend doing both of them as well. They both have really important qualities, so do them both. Bringing us on to the third G chord. Oh yeah, it's so different. Okay. This is my least favourite of all three shapes. It doesn't have the functionality of this G chord. It does have the functionality of this G chord, but you lose the brightness of that G chord, so it doesn't even offer you that. You're making one of your longest fingers go down to the bottom of the guitar as well, and any harmony between the other four open chords is non-existent. Which means that if you want to go to a C chord, a D chord, an E chord, and an A chord, not one of those fingers in that position facilitates in the change to any of them. Except for the fact that you're only using the same three fingers that the other four open chords use. So that's pretty much it. So, to conclude, which shapes should you learn? All of them. But start with either this one or this one. Once you've got your head around those two shapes, by all means, learn that shape as well. The more ways you can play a G chord, the better you will be. Personally, I have never found a reason to use this G shape where either this shape or this shape wouldn't suffice. This is the most important thing. To be good at anything requires knowledge. Don't just shut one way of playing a G chord out of it because it doesn't really suit you to begin with. Learn them all. Learn one to begin with. Either choose this one and this one. Definitely learn those two shapes. This one, I would advise to begin with to stay away from it. Make yourself play it like this or like this. Okay? Just to show you what a drop in the ocean we are talking about regarding the G chord here, I'm going to play a few shapes for you so that you can see how many different ways there are of playing on. Firstly, no fingers required. Because I have a G string, a B string, and a D string, as we said to be. Okay, we have. It's a lovely shape, that one. So, all these G chords, you've got little baby kind of snippets from each one of them as well that you can play. And that is that. Thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed it, if you found it useful, stick around. Please like the video and subscribe, and see you soon.